Oh, the four kids didn't finish Mew Mew Power. This is Golden at Tilly's perspective. Please don't let her for this. Thanks for understanding.
Don't forget to subscribe!
Hi, welcome back to part 2 of the Mew Mew Power Christmas special. In this video, we'll continue on to episode 38, Miracle of the Holy Night. No more secrets. Let's get this thing started.
Ah, spoiler alert!
Continuing from previous episode, the Mew Mews are about to face Sardin, Tarb, and Dren. And, for the first time ever, the Mew Aqua has been revealed. And when Karina and Pudding are about to take the Mew Aqua, the three aliens use their powers to protect it. And as a result, they were trying to enhance the power of the Mew Aqua. However, Kiki's attack was infused and detonated with the three aliens' attack, meaning that the entire region will be caught in an explosion if things don't get settled. The Mew Mews decided to destroy the shield before the Mew Aqua creates an explosion. So, with their powers, they attempt to work together. But eventually, it actually does not even work out. One of the aliens have created a whirlwind vortex, trapping the Mew Mews. They weren't even gonna make it, and Zoe encourages her teammates not to give up. Because of this, the aliens' attacks are far more powerful, and Zoe can't even dodge it. And thus, when all hope was lost, a mysterious hero arrives to save the day, and it was none other than the Blue Knight. And Zoe notices that Elliot has been missing. So the Blue Knight dodges Dren, Sardin, and Tarb's attacks. So the Blue Knight uses his fencing skills to defeat the enemy. And for some reason, the Blue Knight's sword's critical point was very sharp, and the aliens managed to make their escape. And that was when Blue Knight gave the Mew Mews advice. If the Mew Mews were able to combine their powers, they should be able to destroy the bomb, because there was no other way but to combine everyone's power to stop the explosion. So, they needed to be determined, and there was no other way. So, it was all or nothing. So, Mew Zoe asked her friends to lend her their powers, and the powers were all combined into one, creating a massive stop to the shield. So they used Mew Power Extension. And it was actually a strong energy, it was just a little bit to go. And everyone was preparing their attack, unleashing a small orb of light, causing a large, massive amount. And it caught everyone's attention, and the orb of light created some sparkles. And as Zoe was about to reach the ground, she sees Mark, and the Mew Aqua eventually was hit onto Mark, causing him to pass out right in front of Zoe. And Mark was unconscious. And so Zoe just had to run up to him. Zoe was heartbroken because she realized that the Mew Aqua eventually hit Mark, and it made him unconscious. And as Elliot tries to hold Zoe restrained, she begs to let go. And Elliot tells Zoe to calm down, because it was revealed that Mew Zoe can't help, but only Zoe herself. So Mew Zoe had to change back into her civilian form, as the others decided to head to collect the Mew Aqua because it was scattered. Because Mark only meets Zoe now. So Mew Renee, Mew Karina, Mew Kiki, and Mew Bridget head off with Elliot. So Zoe changes back into her civilian form, and Mark starts to slowly regain consciousness very slowly, and he attempts to say it's dangerous, but it was revealed that he recognized her this time, for sure. In all honesty, Mark was taken to the hospital, and the meaning of tears is up to lovers, was almost according to Renee, but if the feeling of love is true, it will be changed to a shining tear. So, Zoe eventually still kept the shining tears of Christmas, and she prays that Mark will be okay. One of the surgeons comes out saying that the surgery was finished. As for the wounds, there was only bruises, but he was still unconscious due to the shock of the Mew Aqua, and it was only temporary. And the surgeon suggests Zoe to please keep talking to him because he would just be lonely with any minute go unnecessary. So Elliot holds an orb of the Mew Aqua, and he is still destined to search, so he placed it right where the Christmas tree was. And as for Wesley, he was gathering information, and he reported back on the rest of the Mew Mews looking for the Mew Aquas. And he explains that the search was going well, and there's still some left in town. And Renee eventually was done in the city area. So, eventually, Zoe called Mark and Elliot. It was called Wesley and Elliot, and the condition was unstable. And Renee responds, "Miracles always happen in the holy night." Yes, and it was indeed Christmas Eve, known as the Holy Night. Back at the hospital, Zoe sees Mark lying in an unconscious state in his hospital bed, and Zoe appeared to be crestfallen. She tries to hold back her tears, and she tries to say something. And she asks if he can hear him, and she says that she's been always lying to him and not telling him that she's a Mew Mew, and that her cat ears and tail pop out when she's super excited. And no matter what, she couldn't even tell her, and she keeps apologizing. And she's tried many times, but she didn't even do it in the end. And that was because he told her that he always loved her. And he's been watching for all this time, and he deep down loves her for the most part. But Zoe thinks it's all a dream to have him say that he loved her. And Zoe always thought, please don't let me wake up. And a dream has to end at some point in life. And it was actually just okay. Anyway, the only thing Zoe wishes is that Mark could wake up. And then after that, they'll return to everything that it was before. And she'll be watching from far away with her friends. And she tries not to cry. And she tries to put on a brave face. And she is pleading for him to open his eyes. So, she comes closer to him. And she eventually continues to plead, and a teardrop falls out, and it was a sparkling teardrop, and it created a lot of translucent sparkles, and the Mew Aqua eventually reacts to the wondrous glow of the marvelous sight, and thus this caused the Christmas tree to gain its radiance, because the Mew Aqua was placed in front of it, and it caused a lot of sparkles to engage. And thus, it started snowing once more. And snow on Christmas Eve is most likely a good thing. Karina, Bridget, and Kiki decided to visit Mark and Zoe, and Renee decided to come along as well. Although it was snowing, Zoe had noticed it from the window, and the teardrop was in Mark's face. And Zoe thanks the Lord for this miracle. And Mark starts to smile. And Zoe begins to smile back at him. And as Zoe was about to leave, Mark stops him. Mark stops her, and then he starts to get up. And then he starts coming closer, and he suggested they would both go out for a walk in the snow, talking to each other and engaging in a conversation. And so they eventually go outside, and they walk to the largest Christmas tree of the city. And they eventually see how beautiful and wondrous and a gorgeous sight it was, as it was snowing. The lights were all sparkling, and it was quite a surprise. And Zoe eventually tells Mark something, and Mark said that he noticed that she was Mew Zoe a long time ago, and he actually kind of smiled at that. And Mew Zoe eventually had to remember what was going on, because in the past, Mark has seen Zoe appear most of the time, and he's been waiting for her all this time. In one flashback, and he was coming closer to her and embraced her in the rain once, since he first met her. And while he was waiting for him that day, he realized, to be honest, he was actually uneasy himself, scared that his relationship might be ruined if he even mentioned it in the first place, because, like Zoe, Mark has secrets of himself. His earliest memories were of an orphanage in the past, so he doesn't even know who his real parents were. His new family was looking for an intelligent child, and they liked him and adopted him as their son. And he decided to keep being a good boy. And he always met their expectations. And he's done everything perfectly. And he did everything to survive. And he was always surrounded by people and they relied on him like a good person. And nothing really captured his interest. And they smiled at him as if they were his friends, and they found it would be useful to know him, and he was very cynical about that. But Zoe was different. She was bright, she was sometimes a crybaby, and like a charm. Mark felt so relaxed, and every time when he was with her, he could laugh. And this was when Zoe and Mark confessed their love to each other. And Zoe eventually decides to give Mark his present, because honestly, it would bring out a lot of eternal happiness, and Mark promises to hide Zoe's cat ears so nobody would be able to find out. And Zoe eventually just blushes, because if she's always with him, and he promises that it would be a secret for the two of us. And it's actually kind of interesting, because it's strongly revealed that everybody has secrets of their own. And so this was when Zoe gives Mark the tears of Christmas, and it was her Christmas present to him. And and they say it will shine if you say even your tears will shine if you. And so Mark thanks Zoe for the present. And they watch the Christmas tree shine in radiance and happiness, thus ending the episode.
Did you know that?
When Mark gets hit by a blue aqua, he somewhat reacted to it as if the blue knight sent a signal to it, and from this episode until the end, Mark knows Zoe's identity as Mew Zoe.
Now you know!
So we will give this episode
Of Mew Mew Power, a peak 6 out of 5. And this episode's rating is 11 out of 10. Next time...
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. What do you think? If you appreciated it, please be sure to smash that like button, and be sure to follow my social media platforms in the description below, and the Team Lifelight's fandom channels. Please be sure to leave a comment below, and give us your open-minded thoughts. We here at Team Lifelight's fandubs do not condone harassment, violence, or trolls allowed. Or otherwise, Red Hoek and Comedy Central's The Ren and Stimpy Show will haunt you down to the ends of the Shadow Realm. So please be sure to subscribe to our channels and click the notification bell. You'll never miss this video the second it goes live on YouTube and Google. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Happy holidays, and have a happy new year, and best wishes for all!